Hello everyone, welcome to Game Spider. So you probably know Baldi's basics in education and learning, and if your knowledge goes slightly beyond surface level, you'll know about this corrupted entity named Fawning 2 or NULL. Many people in the fan base have accused him of being the source of corruption, and thus being the true villain of the game. However, it seems pretty obvious to me that NULL is actually a victim of corruption, and he wants to prevent the same from happening to the player. But apparently it's not so obvious, so that's why I'm making this video. I'll walk you through the three games Null appears in and argue why he is actually not the bad guy. So this is my first actually good idea for a video, so hopefully it won't be as dull as my previous two videos. Also, it contains spoilers for the deep lore of the Baldi's Basic series, so spoiler alert I guess. But with that out of the way, let's start investigating this mysterious figure and his role in the series. Imagine there is this crappy 90s edutainment game named Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. When you boot up this game on Quill.os, you get greeted by the teacher Baldi. You have to collect 7 notebooks, and with each notebook you have to answer 3 math problems. Quite a lazy way to teach math, but remember, it's a crappy game. The first notebook goes just fine, but when you get to the second notebook, the corruption starts to show. The question is completely glitched out and consists of random numbers and symbols with no correct answer, forcing you to answer it wrong. But when you get a question wrong, the game's horror starts. Baldi starts chasing you relentlessly with his ruler. Now, the game starts teaching math more effectively since Baldi gets angrier for every problem you get wrong, making it increasingly hard to avoid the teacher beating you with his ruler. You also get introduced to the other characters, all showing strange behavior. For example, there is a student walking around the school that has a side quest for you, but when she catches you, she holds you captive until you complete her quest, leaving you vulnerable to the wrath of Baldi. This is clearly not how the game is supposed to be, so there must be something corrupting the game. Once you collect all 7 notebooks, Baldi congratulates you, but he is interrupted by a voice yelling, "Get out while you still can!" When you try to escape the school through one of the exits, it closes in front of you, and the school turns into a blood-red hellscape. You walk into another exit, but it closes too, and a loud, corrupted noise starts playing. After you approach the third exit, the noise starts getting progressively louder, and when you reach the final exit, a screen appears congratulating you for winning the game, while a corrupted voice tells you to do worse. When you do worse, which means beating the game while getting every single math question wrong, an alternate ending appears. You are instructed to meet Baldi in his office for some tips, but instead you find a mysterious corrupted entity named NULL. Most characters don't seem to be aware of the game's corruption, but NULL is. He starts speaking to you, but there are a lot of glitching noises in between his words. It is pretty hard to make sense of what he is saying. It seems as if some entity is trying to silence Null to prevent him from bringing his message to you. But he tells something about how he got really corrupted and how he can't talk normally. He also tells you to destroy the game and not tell anyone about it before it's too late. I think it is pretty clear that Null is trying to warn you about the entity that is corrupting the game. It could be some kind of virus that infects your computer through the game. That makes it understandable why Null tells you to destroy the game and not tell anyone about it. He wants to prevent the virus from spreading. It looks like Null has good intentions, as he wants to prevent the harm caused by the virus that is corrupting the game. However, it has the opposite effect, and you become curious and start digging deeper. Despite being a crappy edutainment game, Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning somehow becomes popular, and the devs release a sequel titled Baldi's Basics Birthday Bash. This game is pretty similar to the original, but most characters wear party hats, and there are balloons floating around the schoolhouse, and all items are wrapped and shuffled around. But it is complete, with corrupted math problems, Baldi chasing you with his ruler, characters behaving oddly, and the school becoming blood red when you are close to beating it. It looks like the same virus is corrupting the game, but when you reach the final exit, rather than the victory screen appearing, Baldi and the others host a surprise party. Baldi instructs you to blow out the candle, but when you do, the school turns dark and you get access to a hidden second floor. This appears to be a scrapped part of the school, which isn't intended to be accessed, but the virus allows you to access it anyway. On the second floor, there are strange balloon-like entities named Baldloons floating around. These might be ordinary balloons that got corrupted by the virus, which mixed them up with Baldi's asset, resulting in the way they appear in-game. Other random objects appear on the second floor as well, which could all be planned to appear in the game before being scrapped. There is also a room with what could be a scrapped minigame where you must count the balloons, or more precisely, the Baldloons. Once you input all the correct numbers, the corruption starts going nuts. Glitchier balloons that have a lot of heads start appearing in great numbers until there are so many that it becomes impossible to see anything else. Then a screen appears that is supposed to thank people who supported the devs or something, but it is eerily distorted. This game also has an alternate ending. After you reach the second floor, you can use an item named the Dangerous Teleporter to teleport back to the first floor. Then you will find NULL in the principal's office. Allegedly, he got sent to detention for breaking the fourth wall in the halls. His corruption seems to have gotten worse since Classic, as his voice is even glitchier than before. He also coughs a lot. NULL is surprised that you found him again, but also angry that you didn't listen to him. He tells you again to destroy the game and warns you that terrible things will happen if you don't listen to him. It is unknown what will happen if you don't destroy the game, but it definitely has something to do with the virus that is causing the game to corrupt. NULL wants to keep you out of it, and it is understandable that he gets angry when you don't listen to him. But unfortunately for him, you still don't listen and start digging even deeper. After the successes of Baldi's Basics, the devs create Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered. This game has the first two games contained in it, but it has a lot of new content as well. The gameplay has also improved greatly, meaning it actually feels like a good edutainment game, but it is also possessed by the virus, resulting in the same corruption. Classic Style is a remake of Baldi's Basics Classic with no major differences. The normal ending shows a victory screen, complete with NULL telling you to do worse. The alternate ending has NULL once again telling you to destroy the game. Party Style is a remake of Baldi's Basics Birthday Bash, but with some major differences. The red balloons that start spawning after solving the balloon counting minigame won't follow and surround you. Instead, they will destroy parts of the schoolhouse they come in contact with. You have no choice but to watch the swarms of balloons corrupt and destroy the game. Afterwards, the same victory screen as Classic Style appears, but it is corrupted with text saying, "This is your fault." Party Style has not one but two alternate endings. When you use the Dangerous Teleporter to go back to the main floor before the red balloons start spawning, you'll get the same ending as in Birthday Bash, with NULL being angry because you didn't listen to him. But if you use the Dangerous Teleporter after the red balloons start spawning, you'll get a different ending. NULL starts yelling at you that he told you to stop playing the game and now it's all coming down. This could be the terrible thing that NULL warned you about. You triggered and released the balloons, and now they are coming to destroy the game. NULL tried to warn you, but you didn't listen, and now the consequences are unfolding. Lastly, there's Demo Style, which is a demo of Baldi's Basics Plus taking place in the classic schoolhouse. In this style, all classrooms have Baldi's math machine in them. There are three new characters that all show nonsensical behavior just like the other characters. There are also four events that cause bizarre things to happen at random times. When escaping the school in this style, you are taken to a promotion screen for Baldi's Basics Plus. Demo style also has an alternate ending. After collecting all notebooks, bonus questions will become available for all math machines, except the one in the classroom where the last notebook was collected. When you answer all the bonus questions, you'll get a hidden item, the portal poster. When you use it in a specific spot, you will gain access to a hidden room with a ladder. When you touch the ladder, you will be transported to Baldi's basement. This could be another scrapped location. To hide it, the devs just made the room with the ladder inaccessible. However, The virus allows you to gain access to a scrapped item that allows you to access the basement anyway. Somewhere in the basement, there is a room with a mysterious shrink machine, but when you enter the room, Null suddenly appears and locks you up. He now starts to understand why you're not listening to him. It's because you want to figure out the lore. Null warns you again that if you keep going, seriously bad things to happen. He begs you once more to destroy the game. Null really badly wants to keep you out of this. This game also has three fun settings to make the game extra challenging: mirrored, lights out, and hard mode. Beating any style with all three fun settings enabled will unlock a secret fourth style, null style. In null style, the school is completely abandoned. There are notebooks as usual, but they can't be collected at first. But after you encounter null in all three styles, you can collect the notebooks, and null will start chasing after you. This is where the game gets really disturbing. The only entity around is Null, who, unlike Baldi, makes no sound when moving, leaving the environment eerily silent. He can also break through windows to catch you when you least expected it. When he catches you, a frightening jump scare plays before your game crashes. When you are about to reach the last exit, Null suddenly cuts you off and closes it. He tells you that you are not supposed to win and once again begs you to destroy the game. You notice floating objects appearing throughout the school. You discover that you can throw them, so you try throwing one at Null. Null says you are really going to regret that, and then he starts chasing you again, starting the boss fight. During the boss fight, the environment shakes and glitches intensely. Every time you hit Null with an object, he takes damage and the game speeds up, making it more intense each time. After you hit Null 9 more times, you suddenly get taken to Miss Mantwelf's office. After picking up and reading a book I'll get to later on, Null appears in the office. He says the developer and unknown other people are lying to you, and that you didn't listen to him because you think this is a game. While he is speaking, he starts glitching intensely, and after that, Null disappears from the game completely and permanently. After you kept digging deeper into the game, not listening to Null's many warnings, Null decided to use force to keep you out. But after you defeat him in a boss fight, he gets deleted from the game. Even when you erase your save data, he won't come back. It is unknown what happens to Null after that, but I suspect the virus got hold of him and simply deleted him from the game files. With Null gone, the game becomes permanently altered. I have now shown all actions of Null throughout the games he appears in, and how they fit in the narrative that he simply wants to keep you out of the game. Now, you might ask why people would still consider Null a villain. Well, the main reason comes from the post-Null endings. After you defeat Null in Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered, all Null endings are replaced with Baldi encounters. In Classic style, when entering Baldi's office, Baldi will give you some tips as promised. More specifically, he will teach you about subtraction problems and how the answer may be negative. In party style, when teleporting back to the main floor and then going to the principal's office, Baldi will give you a surprise, Baldi's Funtime song. When teleporting down after the red balloons spawn, the ending remains the same. Baldi doesn't seem to be aware of what's happening. In demo style, when you find the room with the shrink machine, Baldi will ask you to help test it out. The machine will then explode, but Baldi seems to be mostly fine. In these three post-null endings, Baldi seems to be a friendly and kind teacher, so people have theorized that it is Null who makes Baldi into the aggressive character he is. But does Baldi become any less aggressive when Null is defeated? He still gets mad when you fail to solve his impossible problem. Outside the secret endings, Baldi still acts the same way he did before. He is still under the influence of the virus. For the record, I think it is indeed Null who altered the secret endings to replace Baldi with himself, but he didn't do it with the intention of corrupting the game, but rather to prevent the corruption from harming you. With him gone, the secret endings are back to what they were intended to be, The virus seems to have spared the secret endings, but in the main game, Baldi is still as aggressive as he is. The truth of the matter is that the corruption is still there. All characters still behave in odd ways. The bizarre random events still occur. The school still turns into a blood-red hellscape. The Baldloons are still there to destroy the schoolhouse. You are not suddenly playing an actual edutainment game. The gameplay remains the same. Use stealth to escape the wrath of Baldi. Also, null style isn't simply gone, but it is replaced by glitch style. In this style, null is replaced by a red Baldloon who functions exactly the same. You got the same horrors as in null style, but this time the enemy seems to have less good intentions. The Baldloons are more like entities that the virus uses to corrupt the game. This means that this time the horror is being delivered by the virus directly. So that pretty much wraps up the story of the first three games of Baldi's Basics. But the real story hasn't actually begun yet. You see, during the ending of Null or Glitch Style, there is a book that I skipped over to save it for this final section. This book is a direct message from the developer. He states that there is a story that he wants to tell, but no game before Baldi's Basics Plus version 1.0 will be part of it. So that means the games covered in this video are not actually part of the real story. As of the making of this video, Baldi's Basics Plus is still not fully released yet, so the real story has yet to be revealed to the public. But it is pretty much confirmed that Null won't return to Plus, so he has actually been defeated in Classic Remastered. And maybe one day you will face off against the entity that is actually corrupting the game. And with that, I have come to the end of the video. Normally, I will tell you to check out my channel for similar videos, but my previous two videos are kinda bad, and I don't have anything else at the moment. And as always, feel free to leave your feedback in the comments below to help improve my future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!